Welcome back. Today we're continuing our Relearning ONI series with the third episode, and we have a few ideas for it. First, we will box the base into insulated tiles so that it is protected from all the heat and cold coming from the outside. We'll also progress on having suits for duplicants, and we will, most importantly, and the main focus of the episode, focus on ranching. We need to establish longer term food source that will keep our 8 duplicants safe for now, fully fed, and also plan a bit of an expansion to, let's say, 16 in the later game. Let's have a quick recap on what has been achieved so far. So we have a tiny little base here, which has nice rooms, barracks, lab, washroom. We have great hall, which is great, in the kitchen here, and yeah, we have some power plant, or beginning of it rather, and a way to deal with all the CO2 that leaks to the bottom of the base. We do have a ranch, the first one, or first stable rather, and then we'll have another one over here. 2 should be sufficient for all the 8 duplicants, and then we'll have to plan a bit more. And maybe we could also address this real quick. Oh, that may be very helpful for ranching. Let's pick a draglet for a moment, and let's plan something temporary for them, because why not? That's what we can do. That's what we will do. These I'm not sure if we want to draglet farm here. I'm not sure anymore. But yeah, so one step at a time. Let's figure the boxing part. I like leaving some sort of shaft over here to the left, in the middle, and then to the right. I'm not sure if I'm being too greedy. Very likely I am. But that is fine. Or at least I hope so. Starvation. Alright. That means that we're onto something important here, and we can also do a little bit of this. Check. Yeah, well, heat will start leaking here at some point. So that should be all good. Then here we wanted to have our draglet, maybe dracos. Yes, and for food, I think they prefer meal wood. So we'll do that. And we have some skill updates, and we have our first rancher, which is Freya, and we'll need to set our priorities properly for Freya. Did we not have a cook? I think there was someone. Yeah. Okay. We will maybe fix that, or maybe not. Alright, what's important here is that Freya gets the ranching priority. That's the most important thing. And this one's missing fertilization. So all of this, like maintenance of this amount of mealwood, is a lot of manual work, and this is something we would like to avoid. And hence the focus on the farms. If we were to introduce 4 farms, which I think is the amount that is needed for the 16 dupes, we probably want to move the farms around a little bit, like move them to the left and maybe move them to the right, because they are 54 tiles, no wait, 27 tiles long, and that would not fit here. But for sure there's a way that it could fit. for sure. There's also a way where we just do this. Maybe a new one, actually. Maybe we could make a farm here and make it the right size right away. So how big is that one? 25. How big is that one? 25. So this is where we're putting the wall and a couple of doors, and then we'll figure which direction we actually want this to be. But not now. Alright, good. Yeah, we maybe want to collect all the wild critters that we have here, so that we can start our little ranch here. We can also increase the priority, and we for sure need to start feeding them, and here sedimentary rock would be nice. Oh, do we not have it? Have we not met any sedimentary rock yet? Oh my. That does change a thing or two. How does it look like? Sandstone. This? I think it should be somewhere here, no? Yeah. Here. Okay. Maybe let's do this, and maybe there's a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of that. Actually, yeah, let's do this. Was there anything closer? By the way, how are we doing on germs? There are slime lung germs here, and I think this door is not actually protecting us from anything, which is also probably to be expected. But maybe, yeah, let's try and contain it a little bit here. And how are we doing overall? I think very, very well. I think for this sort of digging we would already require our suits to be in place, and that will be our priority. But for the moment, let's focus on the farms. And the farms, we'll just shift them over here. And yeah, we'll have to reproduce now the size and the structure. Maybe we can also flip them around. Yeah, let's do that. I think that would be a good idea. And we will do... Let's mirror. Okay. It's not exactly how I want it. More like this. More like this. Yeah, we'll also have to plan a exit passage, like where the duplicates will leave the base. I think it's probably... Yeah, I think I meant this area to be the one. So maybe let's refrain for a second from making it a farm, and yeah, instead we'll make it just a corridor. We're still good in this nature reserve. That is amazing. We are not researching anything. Maybe we should. And I think one of the things that we should focus on is electrolyzer. That will be helpful. It will be helpful for having the SPOM, the self-powered oxygen something machine, is it? These guys will have to be eventually made of something more resilient than copper or iron ore. I also don't quite remember top of mind how that should be built, but I think it looks something like that. Then we'll have to add some airlocks here and something like that. Then there's another pump here for the hydrogen, and we will have a roof here, and I think we need 3 and another 3. Yeah, and I think this is the building where we start, or where we rather stopped caring about our alignment with floors. But we can pretend it's just hanging in the air, so it's not really any floors or anything. And we will also not have to build it, so it's just some placement for us to know it's gonna be here and we'll need it. The reason for this position is we will pump the air into all the suits here. That is supposed to be helpful. And yeah, and we will also pump the air to the base, and if something happens, like any maintenance is needed, any heat gets loose, we will be able to contain it. Okay, let's go back to our farm ranches. We'll have to control the size of it a little bit. Here it's one tile too big, and then we can also catch all of these and take them back to here. That will be our first ranch, and I think, oh, we're still missing oxygen. I thought the main achievement of the previous episode was that we dealt with this, but apparently not enough. But we will, yeah, in the meantime we can plant a little bit more of these thimble reeds, so for that we'll just copy this real quick. Done. And then we have, how did you get out? Okay, these guys are all here. This one needs to be wrangled, and then this becomes our first operational stable. And maybe we demolish all of this for a moment, and let's also think of the food. So we agreed it has to be sedimentary rock. We didn't say why though, and the reason for it is that it increases the chance of a stone hatch egg, and that is what we want. We want the stone hatches because there's plenty of stone. These guys are also supposedly good, at least so I heard. I have not attempted to farm them or ranch them rather, but for now I guess we can also preserve them as they are in their little piece of wilderness. Let us focus on, okay, just look at this. Exactly how we want it to be. Oh, and of course we want to put a limit on the number of critters that are here. I think the good number is 8, or the number is 8, but they will also eventually plant some eggs, and this means that temporarily it will lead to being overcrowded, and this is what we want to avoid, because that influences somehow the mood of the critter and all their reproduction and all of that, and we don't want to deal with that. So what we will do then, we'll drop it by 1 to ensure that all the eggs are taken care of, and we'll put it here. So how are we doing here? All good? All good. Good. So, and then in this space that we still have in between, then here we can probably just put the incubators. And I would guess we don't have research for it, so let's have a look. And yeah, we do not. But we could. No seed available. We'll have to have more seeds for that. And I also wonder, if we were to expand it a little bit, where would all the cots go? No idea. How many plants do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. That sounds a bit like another park or natural reserve. And it's not that we need it, it's just that we could have it. Parks everywhere. Wasn't there an achievement? Yeah, there was an achievement to get 4, was it? 4 parks, I think. And that does sound like, or look a lot like a lot of work. There's not enough of pressure. Should we add another diffuser? That is a very good question, and I guess the answer is we should. There's probably never enough. Except for maybe we could also do it in the following way. So let's hook it up. We will have to replace some tiles here. And this is something we wanted to avoid, right? Even as a hobby. That's what I remember from the last time. I feel it's a bit weird to have it now. I mean, it's not too bad of an idea to have it as a backup, but maybe it's not necessarily needed at the moment, so we can as well just deconstruct it for now and maybe rebuild it somewhere, maybe also put it behind some smart battery. Just in case. Is this now a park? Yes, it is a park. Great stuff. And I wonder if we could also just replace a couple of tiles to make them more of airflow tiles, so that the air actually propagates up. That would probably not hurt. Is this fridge working? It is working. Shall we put a bit of a higher priority here and a little bit of a lower priority here, so that all the food gets transferred here and it's not immediately spoiled? We will build some sort of a deep freezer down the line. Oh, wait. This is not what we wanted. Not sure what we wanted. Oh, can we disable harvest? Yes, let's not harvest it. Food-wise, and we have a lot of food. Well, a bit of food. Quite a bit of food. But also at the same time, it's not exactly the food that we want. Not the quality of life that we want for our dupes. Can we also do this? How is the heat? Oh, the heat is leaking here. Yeah, and actually here as well. Oh, wow, okay. Oh. We sort of know what to do with it. Maybe we shouldn't care for this palm tree all that much. Maybe the heat management is far more important. There's important choices. Maybe we could make it a bit more acute of a task. Anyway, so here, yeah, let's also collect all the sedimentary rock here, because why not? This is exactly what I wanted to achieve this time. We have that ranch, it's up and running. Research is complete. That basically means we can build an incubator. No, we cannot, because it requires some refined metal, which is fine. We can build, or we can have a bit of that as well. I wonder if we still need these jumbo batteries. I think we don't, so maybe we could do the following. We could potentially disable this thing, and that will lead to using up all the batteries here, like this one and this one. Then we deconstruct it, and then we enable it and work as usual. And in the meantime, here we are ready to build our first, or plan our first incubator. I'm not sure whether one is enough per ranch or it should be 2. Let's have 1, because we can only afford 1, and then we'll have more. if we need to, or if we can afford more. Okay, we have nice little Draco here. Do we have a station? Sharing station, yes, let's do it very quickly, and let's put it through a wall here. That does not look right. And so all the energy is depleted. We can deconstruct this and deconstruct that. And then once this is done, then we can safely enable this without losing any energy. Done. Perfect. And then we'll be able to finish up the refining metal exercise. That does not look bad at all, and well, this thimble reed is already helpful with what we need for the suits. This little Draco will also be very helpful for the exact same purpose. We have the ranch up and running, and we'll have more of these hatches very, very soon. Put the hatch eggs here so that there's no surplus. The goals of today I would call achieved. We have planned to box the base and started boxing it, protecting it from all the heat that is coming our way. This is a very much needed thing that everyone should do eventually. So boxing the base, protecting this, and then we have moved a little bit our farms and established our first farm here. And or we have moved our ranches here, or stables here, so we can be ranching. And we have a almost full ranch here. That's great. We have our first egg in the incubator, so it will very, very soon turn into a more reliable food supply, which is super nice. And we are progressing on our path to suits, which we will probably do next time. And then we have also planned a little bit the SPOM so that we can generate lots of oxygen and never care about that again until the moment when we run out of water. But this is future us problem. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment what you would do differently, or what should we do next.